Welcome to the visual cast. Just checking if everybody can hear me. And now you can see me. What's up, everybody? Welcome. We have a great live stream today. Our guest, I just realized it's not a surprise who the guest is because it's part of the thing, but our guest today is Raymond's Germax, Symmetric Vision. Welcome to the podcast, Raymond. How are you doing?
Hello, hello. In reality, I'm so anxious. I'm surprised I managed to get here and I'm able to smile and stuff. But yeah, mixing up anxiety with excitement, I will actually turn on the light a bit so you actually
Oh,
will get to see me. Hello. Yeah, I've been panicking and running around, but it's like the usual, I guess. So overthinking stuff. Try to be invisible here. Yeah, how are you?
I'm good, dude. I'm good. You know, it's funny because you're such a chill dude. We planned to do this a few weeks ago and we couldn't, and then you know, this week we're just like, let's do it. And you were so eager and in a good way, like ready to come on, which was really awesome. You know, you're a good friend, and you know, I'm happy that you're here. We obviously are in a little bit of Symmetric Vision's vision. There's a few surprises here. You know, throughout the episode, see if you can find the magic trigger words that will create interesting effects
Actually,
through the
that's
chat.
possible.
So. Yeah, obviously, want to just start off by saying thank you to all the members, thank you to all the subscribers. You know, we had this amazing episode last week with Android Jones. Shout out Android Jones. I'm going to be getting so much feedback, so much good feedback from that episode. It's great to hear that from everybody, so thank you so much. And to all our subscribers, thank you so much. Obviously helps out in so many ways. I'm trying to figure out a way in the not so near but future to get off of YouTube and do things a little bit more, you know, community based. My Rem repo site is live right now. Still, things are a little bit still in beta, but go check it out, remrepo.com. Probably will do something similar for the visual cast where we can have some sort of subscription and access, you know, integrated into Discord in some way. But yeah, so, you know, look out for that. But we'll keep on our normal schedule regardless. There will be a little bit of a hiatus in the summer. I'm going on tour, it's not really a tour, but I'm going to Europe for a few weeks to do some parties, Fusion Festival, Summer Dreams, and Orange Sunshine, or Orange, I don't remember the other one. So very excited about that. And when I get back, we'll, you know, go straight back into the visual cast. So today we are going to talk about some really interesting and trippy topics that our good friend Raymond's has brought with us. For those not familiar with Raymond's, I mean, obviously you should be, but there's this awesome, you know, like I actually knew about this channel, Symmetric Vision channel, before I even met you or knew you did visuals. You know, you're kind of really well known for the replications, kind of, you know, these psychedelic vignettes into like some altered state of consciousness. So yeah, I mean, do you want to talk a little bit about it? Do you want to tell us a little bit about what replications are and kind of, you know, your bread and butter, so to say?
Yeah. Well, I can. Well, we did speak about this quite a bit on the last podcast, and we'll try not to repeat myself, but give brief info. So, pretty much, long story short, the backstory is that. But in 2013 or so, I had my first psychedelic experience, and before that, I was very, very scared. And the only thing I could not find, even though I was interested in the state, was actual examples how it looked like. There are like 5 movies that are quite well known: Enter the Void, Taking Woodstock, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and there are some other smaller movies that had some sort of effects. But long story short, I was very afraid from this. All the information I could find online was people trip reports that would, if I have no reference or experience, would sound like, oh my god, my friends are turning into demons. I saw whatever, people are finding language. So because I was scared, well, it was very, very hard to actually get into these experiences. And after I had my first, I realized that what the experiences look like is completely different from the understanding of what I could understand if I read about them online, because there's no reference. So my first 2 or 3 experiences completely changed my course of my life. I kind of completely dropped out of everything I was doing. I am a mechatronics engineer by trade.
A what? A what? A
Almost
what? A what visioneer?
mechatronics engineer. I can do robotics. I've done smart robots. I
That's
can
right.
build smart systems.
Robotics.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
did
yeah.
you? What
That's
word did
my
you say?
trade. Also,
Mechatronics.
mechatronics, yes. It's like a
I never heard that
combination
one.
of
I love
coding,
that.
robotics, design. It's like a
It's cool.
very good generalist role. So if you can imagine any process, I can build a robot for it. So anything that, if you have an idea, I can probably figure out a way how to build it in a mechanized, automated form. I've had it as a job for some years and been that evil person who replaces people with robots. And people don't like it. Essentially, people when see that their colleagues are getting fired, they get angry and stuff. So that was not that fun for me, even though it's very rewarding job because you see a system that can fulfill the work, and it's even before AI, so it can fulfill work, automate things. Like let's say you just give me a robot arm and I will figure out how to make it do multiple things or just build these systems. So it's kind of an interesting thing to do, but because of psychedelics and my realization that my culture has sort of lied to me about how it is. Just a random idea. I thought that I could provide some sort of an insight and start just trying to replicate these experiences. And yeah, I tried making like 1 or 2 pictures, which I thought were completely off with no skill in video editing, no digital, no media, no art background whatsoever. And people liked it. So I kept on going it and it exploded very, very fast. I highly suggest, so just so I don't repeat, check out the previous podcast episode, which was like episode 9 or something on this podcast. It will give you a bit more brief background. Yeah, so this thing kind of exploded because of this. Well, now I've had like, I think probably hundreds of people who learned this from me. There are a bunch of other now famous replicators who are really good at it. And
I mean that shit
I
is
don't know
crazy.
all the stories if they learned from me or not, but a lot of them did. And it kind of exploded into a thing. And now it's to a degree that I'm getting invitations to participate in actual science projects like psychedelic research, perception research. That is a big surprise, but also my craziest dream because I always wished in the back of my mind to find some good value for these baby gifts. And
You've been
it
working a
has
lot
led.
with the QRI Institute, right?
Yes,
These
yes,
guys,
yes. In last,
definitely check this
yeah,
out.
yeah. So, yeah, I will go more into information what I've done since the last podcast. So I've been
Okay.
working a lot with Quelli Research Institute, which I'm glad this thing exists, and it pretty much consists of people who kind of contribute there they are from everywhere on the planet. They're ridiculously smart, and the common thing is that we are highly interested in these altered states. So my whole role is in these projects is I'm very good at remembering visuals and putting them out. So we have recreating them. So with the Quelli Research Institute, it's there are like tailored tasks that tests that we do. It's not me, like my whole deal is trying to replicate the visuals. But there are like mathematicians who are very, very well versed into perception, philosophers, AI experts, like any trade you can imagine. But the combination is that they're highly educated and they're very passionate about perception. So it's quite
Can you
quite
talk? Can
interesting
you talk a
how
little bit about the types of research they're doing, or is it a little bit
So
NDA-ish?
currently, from the official part, the official science that's going on in papers, I've been contributing. I contributed to this project um, that's going to PhD with this guy named Fabian Müller, and he's from Basel University and also working with multiple universities on schizophrenia research.
Oh wow.
So it's ongoing, but it's about to end, I guess. Now there are trials to sort of understand the visual mechanisms of schizophrenia, what triggers it, what are hallucinations, maybe how to pre-diagnose people who have schizophrenia before their first psychotic break using
So
visuals. That's
cool.
been very interesting. That's from actual science lately.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I worked with, there's one paper out that relates to HPPD, to, now I can't find the word for it, but it's like, psychedelic perception. I forgot the first word for it. It's very, very embarrassing. But it's like this phenomenon that happens when people take a lot of psychedelics. They have lingering visuals after
Yeah,
for a while.
like do you know Channel 5, Andrew Callahan, All Gas No
Yeah,
Breaks? He talks a lot
of
about
course.
that, the persistence that he has from psychedelics.
Yeah.
I just want to make a
It's
shout out
quite.
here. Audrey's
Yeah.
Visuals has said, I've been interested in replication videos since discovering the replication subreddit in 2013. Very excited to learn more about your process. Thank you.
Yes, the thing is, I guessed by accident. I didn't speak about this on the first podcast we did, but by accident, when I started doing this replication thing, I couldn't figure out where to post it because there's nothing. And literally, after I made my first image, like a month or so, replication subreddit magically appeared. So I had like one of the first
Nice.
posts of mine.
Hell
And the
yeah.
first, and it was created by founder of Psychonaut Wiki, Josie Kins, doing great work
Really?
even now.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
He
yeah,
made
yeah,
he brought that like
yeah.
the idea of like visual replication into the zeitgeist. I guess because that's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
like
yeah.
the whole Psychonaut wiki was all about, was just like trip stories and expressing, and then as people are sharing all their trip stories and like safety and all this kind of stuff, you're like, wait a second, I had a very similar experience. What did it look like? Oh, what, and then you're like kind of like, oh, this like joint language of like, you know, man, the internet used to
Yeah,
be
thank
so
you.
cool.
Thank you, OG's Visual Art, for giving the full name. I'm really embarrassed that I forgot it right now because I'm very, very anxious at this moment. So I'm
HPPD.
gonna lose board. And you messed it up a bit. Psychonaut, you
Okay.
kind of, I guess, refer more to Arrowhead, which is also a great resource. But
Yeah.
Psychonaut Wiki was more concrete way of describing aspects, selective tiny aspects of different drug experiences, like the dosing. So there's like more
Okay.
structured, concrete information. And then, they started adding replications, and I was working with them for a while, creating specific pieces for specific elements. For example, on dissociatives, you have like this scenery slicing, then things are kind of moving against each other. So that was a thing. And now with the QRI, it's quite interesting. So long story short, we are finding they're finding countries on the planet where certain psychedelics are legal. And let's say in Brazil, you can do DMT, ayahuasca, mushrooms. So we did that. So we were doing ayahuasca, and I'm going through different visual tests because founder of QRI, Andres, he developed these tests to kind of test if we all see the same thing. And by the way, I can provide a link. Everything that we done in these retreats, it was under NDA, but it's fully legal. We have reports on a page. I will write it down. It's called heartqri.org. So there are these people who are like mathematicians and philosophers, psychology experts, and they're all reporting what they experience, but in this structured matter related to tests. So let's say
Is this connected? Is this connected to the research that they're doing to try and map the DMT space?
People are connected there. You mean, I guess, DMTX and Andrew Gallimore, who's doing these extended DMT studies where he's putting people.
But they're doing
under,
it with like with map makers and stuff, right? They're doing it with like a whole bunch of like a very scientific kind of.
Yeah. There used to be, I guess, London Imperial College. We are
Mm,
also connected with people all over the planet. There, like people from Japan who started the first replication, let's say, papers with Deep Dream, and like it's all
cool.
connected. It's so connected. I'm so surprised, like getting in touch with people from all over the planet who are, let's say, spearheading these studies.
Yeah.
And just now I went to a research retreat in Mexico. Which was not about drugs while I was there, but which was about advanced meditation
Sure.
states.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh,
So no,
advanced
no, I
meditation
just want
states, no
no.
drugs. Yeah,
Actually,
that's
yeah.
the biggest
Uh,
drugs. Come on. I'm just
of
joking. I'm just
course,
joking.
have you heard about jhanas? So it was focused on jhana meditation. So there are these certain states you can go into that have these distinct feelings, sensations, and experiences. So my job, of course, was trying to learn it without any experience and try to replicate it.
Hmm.
So my whole deal, I actually accidentally appeared in situations where I have to replicate and learn things that I haven't experienced. So imagine you have to learn an advanced meditation technique that takes, let's say, 20 years sitting on a
Right.
rock
To
in
learn.
like
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So in touch with people who actually have learned this, so it is kind of subjective, but it's from my part, it is very subjective. But in touch with, let's say, experts who can give me feedback on this and steer me in the right direction. And that's quite interesting because these states, well, I would not believe that I could be able to experience it. I have just an intuition, right? And then making things from intuition, seeing how what the feedback are from actual experts. It's just
Right.
trying to sort of understand these states. And yeah, this is quite interesting because I never imagined that my life would go this way, even though I wished it would. And
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah. I never thought my life would go this way when I started making
yeah,
super trippy visuals and doing
yeah, but it's like,
psychedelics.
dude, first 3 years, I already spoke about this before. Like people were against this. Like the country I come from, there's like no drug education. It had this like Soviet style attitude. So if you see drugs, you immediately anything related to
Right.
drugs, you immediately think this person is like, I don't know, the evilest person on the planet. Even if they do education that would help your kids, let's say,
Right. 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 Right.
learn
Right.
how to what to expect instead of just scaring them. And if
Mm,
people are scared from these substances and they try them for the first time and realize that it's not really like their culture said, they're gonna be interested in trying more, and that can
right.
end up in addiction. It can end up in different scenarios, right? So
Speaking
it was
of
very nice.
speaking of, sorry to change the topic a little bit, but speaking of
All good.
the your government or whatever, where you grew up. We don't have to talk about the government. Let's not talk about the government.
Yeah,
But speaking of where
yeah,
you
of
grew
course.
up, you have such an interesting kind of like story there, and I think we spoke a little bit about it when we were on the previous episode. But since then, you've done your own festival,
Yeah,
Symmetric Vision, and a group of other bunch of people, awesome people,
yeah.
did a festival in Latvia, and they got
My village.
in his village, in your village,
Yeah.
and the cops came, shut it
Oh
down,
wow, yeah.
obviously for
No,
drug related reasons. No,
no.
okay, you tell a story. You tell
No,
a
no,
story. You tell a story.
so one of my craziest dreams come true, and shout out to the villagers and where I grew up, village of Skujene, who never ever had seen anything like that, even like in Latvia and
Village
stuff,
of
to the scale.
Skujena. Don't forget it,
Skujene.
guys.
Yeah,
Skujena.
and also, yeah. So that's a village I grew up in. Huge shout out to people to being able to withstand 4 days of a night psytrance. We had like speakers that would be like, we had stage and speakers for 3 to 6 thousand people at the festival that was like 300 people, and we had so huge shout out to villagers. Actually, like they were since they saw what I do, they were asking me to try to do this sort of an event, and it was very nice. Besides, even though we actually got supported by government helped us locally because they never seen anything like it before. Like the
Hmm.
stage, we had like 20-meter stage with visuals, artists from all over the planet, from almost all the continents.
Yeah, you
So
guys
huge
had
shout out
crazy
to crew
visuals.
of the festival.
Bear from Void made the amazing stage there. It was super
No.
nice. No, that wasn't his
We did
stage.
visuals. No. The stage was made by a person named Nisham and
Okay,
Alexander. I forgot the full names, but I could
I
try
don't.
to link them.
I'm lost in
Like
the sauce.
yeah. So My work was organizing visual artists and visuals and doing visuals, Bear from Void, as well as binary fragmentation. And there's a guy I
Right.
Vision. We were
Sharat
doing,
was there. Shout out Sharat. Best dude.
Yeah. So this festival, it was supported by the government, like by locals. They helped us. Like random people were just coming, helping us. They gave us the land that we cleaned up and everything. And then the magic started that for 300 people festival, we got severely raided. So we had like 19 cop cars, a border patrol with automatic weapons, with dogs everywhere. Everything was searched. Every person, every day at night.
Not trippy at all, or in bad trip inducing at all. No, it's great to see
totally.
dogs and cops when you're tripping.
Oh yeah, everything. Like we had like one of the headliners before her from Brazil, which is like ridiculous. We did with like no money and this was crazy. Like she got searched at the backstage for CBD, which is illegal, taken away. So one of our headliners couldn't make it because they were taken away. A lot of people were taken away. Of course, it went into the news. We did a huge mess. Actually, shout out to the crew of Terror Festival that we went public. We went very public. So I had to give interviews in main news channels about this because
tell us the irony of the whole story, or whatever the you know, how it went full circle at the end.
Yeah. So I'm very happy that people didn't go psychotic, especially the organizers, because it was very tough on us. It was very tough. And luckily, festival did happen. Of course, we had a lot of mess ups, and I'm surprised it did, but it did. And the funny part is, with all the mess, locals wanted more. Because they got so blown away by this visual. They never seen anything like it. It doesn't happen here to that scale. So it was they got so impacted by it, especially a lot of locals who know they saw it and they got inspired to do so. They're asking, oh, how can I start doing this art thing? How can, like, it worked in that regard.
Right.
But yeah, because of this mess with the police and everything, we had like public meetings that were live streamed with leaders of police and government security to talk about this situation, because it was more brutal than necessary. So
right, how to avoid it for the next time, like education for the government almost.
Yeah. No, but they were really supportive. They told us the ways how we should do it in the future.
Right. They're expressing to you how to avoid. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
But that's see, that's like a very functional thing. Like, obviously, the fact that they did it in the first place is like a testament to, like, what the mentality of the society is. But the fact that they're willing to like talk about it after is, where I come from. And I won't say where it is because we don't want to get people all pissed off. But where I come from, police and parties were like integrated so heavily, like because most of the nature parties, at least in the 90s and the 2000s, were illegal. They had bigger parties, but most of it was illegal. So cops would come, and they would come purposefully because they know where they're going to. And it was like this whole culture war thing for a very long time, and it eventually spread out and spilled out into like legal parties, where legal parties now would get all the legal requirements, all the things, pay all the money, do all the things, but then still cops would all show up to the party with dogs and shut everything down and put all the drunk and high people on the highways, like, so stupid. And the difference in that country that we won't name starts with an I and ends with an L. They never had that moment of like the cops sitting down with the festival people to like, how do we get rid of it? The beautiful thing about that country is that the grassroots movements are so powerful, and basically at every festival, even the underground festivals, you'd have people. They kind of started the whole trip watch thing, where people would have like a shirt like Trip Setter or Trip Watcher. They had a group called Good People, and they would walk around and make sure everybody's okay. And that started from those, like, if we can't control what the outside's going to do, like the police or the government, everything, we need to keep it safe inside, So something good did come out of it, but it was grassroots. It wasn't from like collaboration with the state, which would obviously be a lot better. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy that after like that the cops came and did all that stuff, that it became like a national story. And I think there was like a law that changed, right? Or like a law that was like implemented.
The law is I didn't mention it's completely different. But what I know, the funny part was that after like about half year of the festival, like me and the crew of organizers, we received like awards from the government for putting
Awards.
our name in the village
Yeah.
name into international level, into global scale, because they were art like. Dude, I had like two of my all-time favorite artists from Japan staying at my place. There are people from all over the
Amazing.
planet. I don't know how the other organizers who were in charge of this
Mm.
managed to do it well through connections and knowing people and doing nice things, but it's ridiculous. It's like lifetime dream. Imagine if you're from culture which is completely opposite to psytrance,
Totally.
and
Yeah.
then they are supportive of it. So I do, no matter how these things happened, I am very grateful to our government. I'm very grateful that well, none of us organizers are like in prison. Yeah, we do need to recover from a lot of damages with
Corruption
this
and yeah.
psychological and stuff. But this whole entire thing, I am very, very grateful that, well, people want more. Well, we need to figure out a way how to do it more, because the psytrance culture is not that big in Latvia, so ticket sales are not done. But the funny part is, after the Terra festival, I went to a couple of other festivals, and I talked with random people. For example, in Modem, about 80% of new people I talked to knew about this story, and they had
The Terra
friends
story.
who came to the Terra, and they're
That's
like,
awesome.
wow, yeah, the cops, and like
That's awesome.
very supportive people,
Yeah.
very
So cool.
very, very surprising. This is beyond my imagination, that even though it didn't fail, we had all the music for all time, it wasn't shut down.
Right.
And
But it was like this
yeah,
whole
I don't know about
story and
culture. Yeah. This story is quite interesting, and like I don't know now what's about the laws related to culture and how things are enforced. I did spend a year fighting in court about something completely different that changed the law for the better.
oh right, that
and
was
that
was the driving thing.
car. Yeah. Speed cameras punishing you multiple times a day
Yeah.
without notifying you, and then notifying you three weeks later when you have months to pay, and then people don't know, but it's in the system. So suddenly they, for example, I didn't know about this, and I
Such a
had
good
in
scam.
2 or 3 days I wrecked like 30,000 euros in fines,
Oh my
and like I had
god.
no clue. And as an artist, it was like, dude, I can't. I'm either leaving or killing myself. I can't make it. It's impossible. And people were very supportive, and I'm very, very thankful that my now wife found a friend who was a lawyer who knew about this
Mazel
stupid
tov.
law. Yeah. So I'm so grateful that people helped with this. It was a cost of my nerves. I had multiple mental breakdowns in public for a year because I could not just bear with this weight of just, do I have to leave? I can't. This is not justified. But I won. Thanks to a lawyer, my lawyer. Oh my God, I'm
A
so
Jew
grateful.
lawyer, I hope. I hope a Jew lawyer. Probably not. I guess he might not be a
I
real
don't
Jew.
know, but the person is my
If you
hero,
won, if
and
you won, he's
yeah.
probably a Jewish lawyer.
Yeah. But I
I'm
was
joking.
warned that for about a year, my life will be a living hell, which it was mentally, and I couldn't create, and I'm still kind of recovering from
sorry.
it. But I'm glad it ended, and they changed the law, because I had to go to Constitutional Supreme Court. It was like so. It's not related to my art or whatever, but it is a thing that
Well,
happened, and
it's all connected.
yeah.
You know, it's all connected.
And dude,
we
random people, everybody knew somebody I met in Latvia who had experienced this stupid thing, or had a family member who had
tickets.
to sell everything because of it.
Oh,
so my
no.
lawyer said there were like 20,000 people who lost everything, and there were like thousands of
Crazy.
people who went to court but never went till the end. I could, because I'm an artist. I don't own anything. I don't have a business.
Right. They couldn't do anything for you. Right.
Yeah, they could. Like, I'm not paralyzed, but if you're like a normal person who has a business, and you have this, your car gets locked from going through technical, you can't continue business.
Oh, because you don't.
Have to quit.
Right. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So I was getting random hugs from people who who had told about this. It went to news, of course. Not related to my art, but I'm thankfully here.
I was gonna say that you as an artist are a very unique artist. We spoke about this a little bit when we were talking yesterday, just like the power of your art and how it has influence on people. And I think that when you're saying like now, like, oh, it's not related to my art, it kind of is, because you gave a part of yourself to help other people. You know what I mean? In like a very esoteric way. You gave a part of yourself, you gave your time, you gave your mental stability, your physical, to help other people in the end of the day. And that's what you do with your art. I mean, I just want to show a little bit here of Raymond's nice little noodle environment that he created for us here. You know, the noodle sphere, and you know, these things make people feel something. You know, that's for sure. So you know, it is connected to your art. It's something that maybe you even learned from your art. You know, how to make people feel that. Okay, but let's digress. I think we're gonna try and jump into the set here, and you know, also speaking about your art, the set portion. I would like to first share your screen so we have that going, and I mean, if anybody in the chat has any questions for Raymond's or for me, whatever, please definitely send them out here. And Raymond has a few things to show us. I mean, I'm gonna kind of let him take the reins, or if you want, I can rein you in, but just let me know. And you know, anything you want to talk about specifically or show us specifically, or just preface it. Let us know what you're gonna be showing us, por favor.
So, because people have been, this is the most asked question in my life. Thousands, maybe tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of times is like, how do I do it? And I do have tutorials, right? So this time, instead of going into Blender that the last time I knew for 2 weeks and now I know for 2 years, but I am going to do a quick tutorial that can get people started with creating, let's say, psychedelic replications and psychedelic art, and pretty much at least get an idea how it happens. This is going to be a very reduced version because, well, we are quite limited on time. But I do have free tutorial on my YouTube. I have that gets you started. I have paid tutorials that go much more in depth. But generally, I guess let's get into it. I'm gonna.
You want to get into it? Let's do it.
Yeah. So, well, let's say you have your image, right? It's let's start with just an image. It can be a video. You can do tracking, whatever. It's pretty much, well, if you want to create psychedelic replication, you need to start. So the first idea is that, come on, you can sort of dissect what you experience, right? You experience different distortions. You experience light shifts. You experience colors. So let's start with the simplest thing. Usually what I do is I separate things in adjustment layers in After Effects. For those who kind of know, for those who don't know, you can Google it later. And this is the simplest way. We all know that things are waving, right? So what first thing we do, we pretty much think what can work as a wave. There's a bunch of default After effects that do different type of distortions, you know. What I like to use for psychedelics mostly is called turbulent displays. And it's very known effect in all kinds of softwares, which basically, well, makes things wave, right, in a specific way. So in this case, well, we sort of want the things not to be so intense. So let's set them on, let's say, for 10. This is going to be super crude, but at least it's going to give you an idea. You can kind of see that things are waving in a very similar way. What we do need to do is, well, keyframe this somehow. So let's make this, let's say, composition about 30 seconds, maybe actually even less, so you do see things much better. Pardon my fast speech. I'm very nervous. So
you're good.
Yeah, you can. You have like sort of an evolution of this effect. In After Effects, it's very important with these a bunch of distortion effects. You need to click Cycle Evolution, otherwise it will be jumpy. So generally, you have an effect that has some degree rotation evolution, and what you do is, well, you keyframe it. So in my case, the most important part is making things loop. So because if they loop, first of all, well, you can create short things and you can let people watch them infinitely, which allows them to sort of zone out into things, into these pieces for as long as they want. So in this case, let's loop our evolution. We started here like 0 degrees and stuff. And the important part is that at the last frame, you don't do a full rotation. Let's say 2-3 rotations, you do rotation, and the last frame should be 359 degrees. And it also applies to things when you're creating them in Blender. because if you're gonna have full rotation, you're gonna have this jump which will break your focus and it will look not so nice. So
The first frame is the last frame. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So now you can see it's very simple, right? Kind of things wave. Well, in my work,
Hey,
of course, usually,
can you click that hide button on the display thing on the bottom? Bottom.
oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So in my case, usually I have like 30, 50, 70 different layers that are layered on top of each other to create the things that are to a detail that you can see in my current work. So blending is very important. So if we make things just wave, of course, it looks kind of blank and it's not interesting. We can kind of have opacity on this layer at, let's say, 50. And now let's see how it looks. It kind of looks, I guess, a bit better. Things do have this double vision. This is quite a blank example. Kind of colors are kind of bleak, so let's change that. We go to effects and color correction. Let's make it more vibrant. So here we have a bit more color that might resemble how. Yeah. So the most important thing in my work is not like just applying these effects. It's all about blending. And again, there are going to be layers that are stacked upon each other. This is the simplest way. And this is just the movement, right? But you can see that things are kind of going to the right direction. Of course, there are different ways of displacing things. Sometimes twist is nice on the textures that are like, when you're looking at rocks, roads, it will make things look like they're sort of going in spirals. This is the basicest of the basic versions, but let's not stop there. So let's say we have a movement. We would like to add some geometry. And for this, there are multiple ways to do it. You can use AI. I'm going to show you examples with pictures I've already done using style transfer because it's the quickest way. But usually what I do is let's say we have this image of trees and we kind of, let's imagine that these leaves look like eyes. So what I would do, I would have another layer where I would draw onto each leaf like sort of a shape of an eye, and then or anything that I would remember, and then I would play with blending. But I'm going to show you how it works. So with the image that's, let's say, is Deep Dreams with style transfer, and I think I should have one that is with the eyes. I'm gonna hide this a bit so you don't see all my.
We don't hack into your system.
Oh yeah, of course, or see all my I don't know, illegal.
Your alien, your alien porn, your replication porn.
So this image is just a style transferred image of eyes. It's I've been using this for a while, but this is going to be sort of a good example. It's very, very bleak. Remember, this is very, very watered down version. So now the important part is figuring out the blending of it. It's already looking kind of cool, right?
Crazy.
Usually, important thing to play with blending modes with these geometry layers, and of course instead of eyes you can have another image that is let's say something different. These all are used with style transfer, and you can either use like free tools that are available on. I use Visions of Chaos because I can do things locally.
OG Visions of Chaos. Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah. Now I actually wanted to show you it with Visions of Chaos, but there's this update thing that happens from time to time, and I hadn't set it up. So now let's.
Yeah, but you could do style transfer with AI. And
It's the simplest way to do it, but it kind of works, and you can regulate the things you.
And it's local, like you said.
Yeah. So let's play with these eyes. Let's animate the keyframing of these eyes. Very important to play with blending modes. So luminosity is nice, pin light is nice, soft light is nice. For this soft light, as you can see, you can see these eyes sort of kind of emerging into it. I don't know why it's going so cool. Slow, but we are kind of getting to that direction. You can see that there are eyes. It's again, I'm saying this multiple times, but it's kind of very watered down version of what I do.
So cool.
Trying to compress it into short video. Okay, so now we have this sort of things with eyes, but then there is this issue that everything kind of looks the same and it's not that fun. Uh, yeah, we need to play a lot with how things are blending in multiple layers and stuff. So now this is oh boy, I have animated this very unconsciously. Much apologize. Um, so yeah, this looks kind of blank. One cool thing is to figure out the blending of these eyes. So they kind of shift based on light, based on depth. You can use depth maps, but I'm going to show you a very simple way. So yeah, so one way is by creating a new layer of your original layer. You, let's say, just duplicate it. You add a color effect called colorama. And also you can do this in many different softwares. It's not, this is sort of gonna show you the idea how it looks. In After Effects, it's just called colorama. You have this, let's say, positive to negative monochrome sort of shift of colors. I don't, the other are very bleak, and you can see it's kind of messy, right? So what you do is you blur your source image before and after applying this colorama effect. I'm going to show you its steps. So here you have I'm going to hide the eyes and hide the distort. You have sort of a blurred source image, then you apply this colorama effect, and then you have another layer after this colorama effect that sort of, you can see that there's like much more, not, let's say, not, it's not more detailed, but it kind of looks at fields, more like light parts and dark parts of the image.
So an image,
yeah, of the source image. Let's make it more blurry. There are effects and plugins that do this well with one click, but for the sake of newbies trying to learn this from scratch, let's use vanilla After Effects. And of course, different editing software, different tools, but the idea is kind of the same. I've done it in Unity, I've done it with Blender, I've done it with pretty much any video editing software. So now we animate the keyframes of this black and white hue shift. Let's do like 359 degrees. So it goes in this animation 4 times. It's quite fast. Actually, it's quite good. Now we hide this effect, and you remembered our layer with our eyes, and we want them to sort of fade with by using this black and white shifting layer as a matte. And it's gonna it's gonna mask out the light or dark parts of the image. You can see this with full opacity, like here. See, since the trees are darker and the road is lighter, right? We now have eyes appear on the trees, and now we have eyes appear on the road, and it's kind of, this is the bleak way of it. We play with the opacity. Let's turn it a bit down, and now let's see how it looks. It kind of looks a bit more trippy, right? Maybe I chose the wrong. Maybe I chose the wrong source image. I've been so busy in last weeks. I barely managed to put this together. Also, today is the first day I'm recovering from a surgery without pain.
Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you. So this is the idea of geometry. Of course, you can use anything with style transfer if you go that road.
Super crazy.
Now, well, of course, when you're having a psychedelic experience, you see some sort of a patterns. And again, I'm gonna do the vanilla way, vanilla of creating some sort of geometry in our peripheral vision. So one way of doing this with After Effects, well, very simple. After Effects has these generative effects, and well, a lot of people expect sort of these cell pattern Voronoi type of things in the peripheral vision, right? So we can just generate a cell pattern, right? We can, let's do crystals, because, well, Voronoi, everybody loves Voronoi. Even in scientific crowds, people love Voronoi. And we can do the same again in the After Effects. We're just gonna cycle this sort of cell Voronoi animation. We're gonna loop it again. Let's make it have like, I don't know, 8 cycles. So we have 7 full cycles and 359 degrees in the end. And let's maybe make them a bit bigger, and let's make them disperse more. So again, kind of looks like nothing, right? Remember the last colorama effect? We're gonna use the same thing because, well, it changes color of stuff. And when you're on psychedelics, right, stuff changes colors. Like you have this geometry that changes color. So instead of having black and white cycle, I apologize, we're gonna do a cycle that goes through all the colors. And again, different softwares, same effect. You can find it with any video editing software. So let's say, let's go again, 8 cycles. I'm sorry that I'm writing so fast because there's a lot of knowledge trying to compress it in for people who have maybe some understanding of After Effects. By the way, quick note, if you learn, I'm going to give you a shortcut to After Effects and maybe to most softwares. If you want to learn how to do these things and you kind of remember your trips, you need to learn basic 4 things in After Effects to create everything. So you need to learn masking, keyframing, applying effects, blending modes of different layers, and just blending them in different ways. You will figure out your way further, but I'm covering all these aspects here. This is the beginner version. So usually, well, when you're tripping, right, we don't have these patterns appearing everywhere. They kind of start from from the periphery, right? So we use masking. We just gonna create here, let's say, an elliptical mask. If you want it kind of be in the center, you can double click it. See, we have a mask. I'm gonna change the color of the outline so we see it a bit better. Maybe not green, maybe blue, very contrasty. And now we're gonna, because well, visions are usually not in the center, we're gonna feather out we're gonna first invert our mask, we're gonna feather it out a bit, and we're gonna expand it so it's kind of in our peripheral vision. And now we're gonna change it so it kind of covers the periphery. And if you've done psychedelics,
Wow.
the more your dose you take, the more, yeah, it starts from peripheral vision. And now we sort of have, oh well, this is very, very bland version. So we fake
Sick.
a bit. We change the opacity of the layer, and we change the blending mode. Well, again, different blending modes, different effects. So if we choose, let's say, color blending mode, which is kind of nice, we start to get this sort of kind of like trippy effect. Again, very watered down, very but this is already a lot of information if you want to get started. And again, slower version of it, this is really available on my YouTube. And the funny thing
Damn.
is, yeah, I released this on 2017, and then it started like I got a lot of people started posting their versions on subreddit or replications. And the funny part is that it was exactly the same, right? Because people are learning. But then there are a lot of people who evolved and started doing their own versions of it. And it made me very happy because seeing
Mm.
people gain ability to kind of do this thing and express their own experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so now we kind of start getting somewhere. One cool thing to do, which is a huge element in psychedelics, at least for me, is that these visuals, in especially lower doses, they kind of, well, they strobe. It's not like they are very static, and also, of course, they react to the environment. This is the
Mm-hmm.
beginner version. Seriously can't cover the reaction to the environment in this tutorial, but I can explain this to you. You by using, again, we can feather out, we can mask this layer also with our matte that we made before. Remember this black and white thing that
Yeah.
selects things on light? We can
Yeah.
also feather out this, if mask out this effect layer based
Mm.
on, based on we based on our light and dark, let's say. And for some reason it's not working
Whoa.
as of now. For some reason it doesn't want to work now. I'm not entirely sure why. It should. Oh no, it
Oh,
kind of does, I guess. It's very hard to notice it as of now, but you can see that the visuals in the peripheral vision are kind of disappearing also together with
into the
the
right part. Yeah.
light and dark parts. And so if you want to, Well, I can give you a brief intro. If you want to make these visuals more reactive to the environment, is that again you can use the same trick uh, of this black and white masking layer, and masking. I'm gonna call it, let's say, big letters matte, because it's very useful. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you can use this because it reacts to the light and dark parts. As of now, you can use depth maps, which is kind of cool, but doesn't work anywhere.
Mm.
Have this same layer. You can change it instead of using black and white, you can have it switch hue, and then if you apply the same mask to it, if you apply the same mask to it, which well, masks out things. In our case, sorry, I'm using also shortcuts here. See this mask,
Dang.
because it reacts to the environment. You can use this to create visuals that are kind of reactive to the environment, and to do that, you have this make it switch. Where did it go? Hue, and then by
Whoa.
using the same using the same blurring action, and then you can add actually edge detect. You know how to create a reaction diffuse? You told me about this in one of the last way to create reaction diffuse. You have blur, edge
Mm-hmm.
detect. You can apply a stylize, I guess, edge detect. Um Oh boy, it's so messy right now. I'm so sorry.
Maybe put it
And
first.
yeah. You can use edge detect, and then you can. Why is
No,
this
maybe
all?
put the edge detect. Maybe put the edge detect above.
Yeah. Thank you. By the way, you are helping a lot.
Right? I don't
But
know.
it's like
Maybe not.
no. You have edge detect, and then you have blur, and then you have another edge detect, and then you have blur. Yeah, really, I'm
Ah.
sorry, because it takes a lot of time to do it nicely. But you have edge detect, you have blur, and you can. Oh my God, it's so messy. Edge detect blur, and you're gonna have this effect. Uh, on based on the elements of the I'm so sorry that I can't do it right
It's all
now
good. Just
properly.
show.
I got very
I
sidetracked,
want to
but
ask
the
you
idea is,
actually with these colors. You know how like the colors, that hue that you added.
yeah.
Um, you know how it's like. Can you go back for a second? It's just something that I always like see with like rainbow colors. Just turn off the blur for a second.
The blur off, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Okay. So
This is
now.
messy because I'm using the color effect, by the way, on a layer with a mask, so it can get quite messy. One way to deal with this is you put the layer in a new composition, and you create a new composition. Then you put your effects, because the color effect, for some
Mm-hmm.
reason, it's
Mm-hmm.
very messy with the After Effects. You put it. Oh, sorry, I'm so messed. I'm such a mess today. I'm sorry, so stressed. Okay,
It's
so you
okay. You're
have
just
this.
after surgery.
Yeah, dude, really, this is the
Stop
first day I'm
apologizing.
actually. Yeah. This I guess humans understand. So now, oh yeah, actually, it kind of see you have this coloring effects that are kind of reacting to the environment. See, there's the road,
Mm-hmm.
there's
Yeah.
the
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
okay, and
Sick.
now, because you have put all these effects in the composition, you can apply mask to it. Uh, and the mask, again, we need to have it inverted, because, well, things happen in peripheral vision, and we need to have it feathered out. And now we can expand it, and we can make it nice, because lower the opacity. Yes, it kind of worked. I'm so thankful for also your assistance. You've been so helpful. So see, now these coloring aspects are reacting with the elements, sort of.
Yeah.
And well, you can play with this quite a lot, right? Uh, well, let's enable again our geometries. Let's enable what we created before. Let's put things in the. Yeah, I got a part of my jaw removed together with 3 or 2 wisdom teeth, and they had to remove part of my jaw. So I've been in a lot of pain for last week, and painkillers don't work on me. So that's been a quite interesting journey. And I really wanted to do this podcast with you, and so I kind of went a bit out of my way. But see,
Well,
now we have some
amazing.
kind of it's getting close, but this is all work of tinkering. One good aspect that you need to take into account is that things are not that static. Things are also I'm gonna make this normal. Things are strobing quite a lot. So we have geometry reacting on our colors very, very vaguely, and we have it's not really strobing, but we want to make it strobe, so you have this effect. You can one way of doing strobes is by using default stylized strobe light effect. So you have this layer visible. Usually you figure out the frequency. One way of calculating frequency is quite easy. Strobe duration, if we have 30 frames per second, we have 0.02 seconds. And the strobe period duration 0.01, I'm sorry, and the strobe 0.02. And now it's kind of strobing. It's very messy now because the opacity is max. We lower our opacity a bit. We blend with original about 50%, so making a bit nicer. It is very messy, but I'm very thankful for your patience, people. I'm very thankful.
This is awesome. We're getting some real information from the master. It's sick.
Yeah, and also these things, like I've seen people in these years, because I released the tutorial in 2017, and since then there were like, before then there were like 10 people that were like really great at making psychedelic replication. Each of them had their own. And then it exploded, and after I released a paid tutorial that goes in detail, it's on my Gumroad, let's plug it, which focuses on different ways for different, let's say, substances, multiple approaches to do it, and then it kind of exploded. I don't want to say I'm first in this, but people call me first because I was the first person who started doing this in animated way for the purpose of creating replications. There were movies before, but for the purpose of sacrificing my life, I kind of was the first. And I don't want to like brag about it. It's what people have told me, and if you look in history of internet, you're gonna find it. I don't want to compete because there's been situations with this, and I try to be as humble as I can, and I never really talk about this. But this thanks also to like Josie Kins for making this environment, and for me to be able to do it like with replication. So now we have kind of trippy, very, 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 very non-detailed different, but by playing with different blending modes, different patterns, different ways, you can do a lot. You can do a lot. Then the next level, I'm not going to show you that. You can, of course, use videos. You can learn tracking. You can track these geometry layers. Like in my work, if you show my replication compilation, that was one of the first videos, you can see that there's a lot of, now I do videos, so there's a tracking involved. Tracking is a separate subject. You can learn it in different ways. You need a tutorial, but then you track a geometry layer on top of your video and do exactly the same thing.
With the camera movement.
Yeah, of course, and it can get very deep. Now I'm to a level where I'm using photogrammetry. I'm scanning 3D objects.
Really, you're using like point clouds for like.
I'm using
stuff like that, or not yet.
I'm using Gaussian spotting. I'm using reality capture, actually 3D photogrammetry. And the thing is, the last piece I did, it went very viral. Last piece I did with photogrammetry, because I'm learning. I've done like two pieces with it. It went viral, got like millions of views in like in a week. There were 2 or 3 posts that I was just trying to learn photogrammetry, and I'm still learning because it's very complex. But what it allows me to do is the model, like you have these noodles, right? I can have a 3D scanned object, and then I can like turn it into fractals. I can turn it into things that
just points, it's particles. You can kind of do anything with it at that point.
By the way, I'm not doing particles at all. Like literally, I don't work with particles. It's not something that's called.
Well, I mean, I just mean like the Gaussian splats. The Gaussian splats are points, which are essentially. I mean, particles are points. Actually, whatever, they're similar.
For me, Gaussian splats don't work that well. I can use it; it's very useful, but I didn't go that route. By the way, I got access to nerves before they became public because working in people on research who are connection with people who developed the nerve technology. So I had my chance to play with these technologies, quite a lot of
Sick.
technologies before they became public, and. Gaussian splats never really they didn't go together with my workflow. So now my main thing is.
I think the best thing about Gaussian splats is just that, like, nerfs was a big issue because it was a radiance field and no 3D render engines do radiance fields. So it was like, what am I supposed to do here? Gaussian splats was like, okay, we can use the same technology, but instead of rendering them or using them as a field, we can render them as points and then blur the points from the perspective, and then it creates the same effect. But I mean, both of those technologies are sick. Like, it's super cool that you're using them, and they're really just like big brothers of photogrammetry, you know. So it's really good to kind of have the Please.
Main thing for me is now focusing on separate objects because I'm learning. I think it's this is basic photogrammetry. You have like a rock, you scan it, then you have it in 3D, then you rebuild, let's say, elements of the rock. I actually could show that post that went viral, where you can really see now. Pretty much now they are exploding, and I'm very now I haven't done much because I'm recovering. I'm recovering, and by the way, also my IT infrastructure broke down, like my homepage, everything. I lost my emails. I lost everything, so I've been rebuilding. So this is sorry, it went to boost. I'm sorry. Okay, so this, maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. Why can't
make it big?
No.
It's Instagram is just garbage.
Okay, let's do YouTube. YouTube's gonna be easier. So, okay, you're gonna see. Now you see what I'm watching on YouTube. So, these examples, they are actually, I can't disagree that they are quite sick. I'm gonna send it to you too, so you actually can show it much better. So this is one example of photogrammetry. See, we are like meditating. See, same effects, same trippy visuals, same what we just did in a tutorial. And now I scanned myself, and now we can go in a level where you can see we have the environment.
Right, it's moving on the geometry. It's like
yeah. And the technology is crazy. These things. This is like one of the first examples. This went super viral. This had, like, in a week I had like millions of views. I never had. Well, I had a couple of videos with millions of views, but this is just me learning. It's just a rock. I can send links in the chat just in just so you kind of see.
Oh, we can see it. We can see it fine. It's good quality.
Good. So now I'm here. It's been a dream, and also, well, I don't want to spoil everything. I'm doing this in VR, and it can get very crazy, man, very crazy. So this is where I'm at now in this regard with the technologies I use. But it all starts here. It all starts in this tutorial I just gave you. And I never expected this to go that way. I highly encourage you, if you have these experiences, play with this. This knowledge is enough. Really, this is enough to get you started if you have zero idea. So again, in After Effects, just basics, blending modes, masking, applying effects, just keyframing. That's it. If you learn these things, it's everything about blending. So again, repeat, there are 4 or 5 layers here. My usual compositions are like 70 layers. And then I layer this same drifting animation on top of other drifting animations, so they have delay, so things look very deep. And but this from the set part is kind of what I do in very broad terms. And I highly encourage you to play. Tutorials are there. There are other people who have done tutorials with their approaches. There are things that overlap. There are things that don't overlap because, well, people are learning on their own. And you can. I totally want to. By the way, I also need to plug. People already know, but I am working on almost done with full course in Blender. You can see these noodles, right? But full course in Blender, because now last time we talked, I was learning Blender for 2 weeks. Now I have 2 years of it, and I have yeah, I have learned how to create highly complex things, and I'm transferring this knowledge. People are I'm releasing this in parts. First part was how to do it in After Effects, but because I'm doing tutorial in Blender, what it's gonna do, it's gonna give everybody access to do it for free. Well, besides
Hell
paying
yeah.
for my course, of
That's
course, it's
awesome.
like, but
By the way,
yeah.
your website is really good. Like your website is
Thanks,
just really
by the
nice.
way,
Yeah.
to a friend who saved my life. It got rebuilt in 3 days. I lost it. I
Nice.
lost like a week ago. I lost everything. I lost
Terrible.
my emails. I lost access to everything. So in the
Mm-hmm.
last week, if you send me any email, please send it again. It's gone. And thanks to Till Holzapfel, who is also we're working together through QRI. We met, and
Shout
he's a
out
wizard.
Till.
And he,
Love Till. He
yeah,
made the
and
website? Nice. Yeah, of
he
course.
may,
I love Till.
Till you met him before in Germany.
Yeah, we've hung out.
Uh, yeah. So yeah, everything you need to know how to, let's say, oh, you don't see my screen now, but
Here you
if
go.
you can show me my screen, you can kind of, yeah. So see, there's like, this is literal copy of one of my experiences. So you can see there's like an entity within a space doing weird shit, and yeah, all these things. This is a collaboration with a friend, but pretty much knowledge is gonna be there, and I hope to
Mm.
finish this within next weeks, hopefully. But people have been nice; they have bought it, even though the only first part is out. All thanks to support, made my surgery possible, and
Mm.
yes. It's crazy stuff. Shout out to Splitties, also a friend for this last piece, and who also has exploded in the field of creating very cool 3D art, and a lot of shout outs to crazy talented people here. And yeah, this is from the set part.
Do you wanna?
Also,
Would you like to show anything else, or should we continue our conversation?
I think
We're at,
let's talk. This was the main aspect I wanted to transfer in terms of knowledge. This
mm-hmm.
last podcast we did about VJing and about my life there, but my actual thing is this replications. I gave my life for it. Like literally, I just like okay, live below my means, live in kind of distressed house. We are slowly rebuilding it with the family, and it's really. I don't know how I'm still alive. Like really, I don't know how I'm still able to exist doing this. All gratitude goes to people who have helped me with this. It wouldn't be possible without people's support, and I'm very happy. It's pretty much try or die for me. I have given up my life. I spend all my time doing this with no expectation that it will ever sell, no expectation that it will ever go anywhere. Ramen for last 10 years, but it's totally worth it. I live a meaningful life, and I've got now millions of people sending me thank you letters and life stories, how their lives got changed because of this work, because they were scared from psychedelics, and then they found out, and then they show it to their friends, and so it is very meaningful life for me, even though I could make a lot of money, being like robotics engineer. The opportunities are there, but I can't mix it. I can't do both. It's impossible because I do things with full focus. It's full focus in everything I do, full love. So I've tried. I had doing jobs, and it's sacrifice. So it's just my mind at this moment. Maybe I need to grow up a bit, but
no. I mean, it's you said it very eloquently that it's you're focused on one thing, and the thing that you want to do right now is the thing that makes you happy. And money money can help you be happy, but it doesn't make you happy, for sure not.
Connections.
But what could be cool though, is you make some psychedelic robots. I don't know, like I'm just thinking of something. We could talk about it after, but just in general, like those two worlds will collide at some point.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will.
They are
in a way that you can, in a way that you don't have to give up something to do something. You know what I mean? Well, thank you so much for.
should figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Your creative mind will figure it out. Exactly. Thank you so much for showing us that awesome look into replications and kind of seeing a little bit more into that process. It's such a cool, trippy visual process that is just really fun to watch and get kind of like like the behind the scenes of. We are coming to the end here a little bit. We spoke a lot at the beginning, but I'm also like I just love talking to you, so I'm more than happy to go on a little bit longer.
Yes, of course.
There was another thing that we mentioned yesterday when we went that you wanted to talk about, which was the replication of the laser experiment. If anybody is familiar, there's this concept or idea that if you smoke DMT and then look at a laser from the side, you can see into different like a reality or something like this, or time stops. You can see the code of the matrix, whatever. There's a whole bunch of different ideas of it, and it's been like, I wouldn't say documented, but I would say maybe like shown multiple times online. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like the early salvia videos. You'd have like, at the beginning there was like people like smoking salvia and then like freaking out, and that was like kind of like viral for a while, of like, oh, look what this thing does to me, it's legal. But this is like a more mature version. yeah, I'm sure. This is maybe like a more. There was this fucking hysterical like meme of it, like a parody of it, where they would do like, yo, we're doing all these, I'm boofing this crystal. They would make up all this stuff, and then like they would jump, and like, oh, I'm time trap. Remember that one? It was like 3 guys. Yeah. They had all these funny things with like a box. It was like in their garden. It was so funny. But yeah, so. You did some. Maybe talk about a little bit what your experiences with this laser and kind of like what you did to show it. And if you want to show the video, I can show the video in the back as well.
So with this DMT laser, there's like I don't want to oppose any ideas. I also been in touch with Danny Goller, who came up with this, and he actually encouraged me to try to replicate this. It was very nice. I can give you only my subjective opinion, and also like kind of share what people in the crowd I'm working with who are scientists know. So this first of all, before you try lasers, try actually watching the TV static noise. That's like one good example. It works much better than a laser, by the way. Also, you did an interview with you on visuals. Yeah. Also, great person in my reality. Huge
yeah, he's awesome, dude.
Best math teacher I know.
Shout out,
I wish people learned math from him as an inspiration. He inspired me to learn math. So this. He also actually gave me the idea of trying to watch a TV screen on it. So this idea that you see the matrix code. One thing I need to let you know, there's this idea about speckle pattern. The speckle pattern is this noisy thing that happens, right? When your eyes can't focus on a thing, they build this magic eye sort of an effect. That's why when people watch a laser on the wall, especially on psychedelics, it feels like it's behind the wall. And it happens with TV static noise. It happens with a lot of types of static noise. And if you watch a laser and you pay attention, it is noisy. It is noisy.
Wait, question, because I need to ask you, otherwise I'll forget.
Yeah.
Static noise, did you call it?
I think it's called speckle pattern. But this
speckle pattern. So is it the same thing? Like, I think we've spoken about this in the past. But like when you look at the sky, or like when you focus on like a sky, something far away that's bright. Usually the sky works the best. I always see like these like swimmer, kind of like they're like colorfully different thing.
It's different thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So this.
What is that called?
Those floaters that you have.
They're like. I see them all around, and they're like kind of moving around, a little bit traily, but not really. And this is like sober. Yeah. And like they're kind of like. They're like almost like light aberrations, but they look like they're in the sky or like something floating around. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's light floaters. It's you can notice it on bright.
It's in my eyes, huh?
Yeah.
It's from too much looking. Sorry, continue.
Speckle pattern is just this noisy thing that happens, which changes. It's so. So on DMT specifically, I don't know if there is science behind it. Again, I'm just like a druggie talking out of their ass. One thing that happens, as opposed to other psychedelics, your hallucinations, let's say, they are very much object dependent. So let's say you are watching a wall
Right.
on acid
Right.
with some paintings, right?
The
Everything is
ass.
gonna sway and shift. All your field of vision, starting from peripheral, will do changes. You will hallucinate different patterns and whatever, right? But with DMT, and this is quite specific, there are some other tryptamines that have this aspect. It's very context based. So if you look at the painting and you have a white wall, what things that will, everything will look kind of normal, but the painting will switch. So the painting will I'm by the way looking to the side, I'm gonna
Is
switch
that
the
just
screen
because?
just so
Is that because
yeah,
of
I don't know
like
why it's
the?
happening.
You don't know why it's happening?
Yeah, but you can experiment with this. So when
Well, I
you
mean,
are
it must
watching
be just like
laser,
detail, like your eyes are focused on detail, or your mind is focused on detail,
yeah,
and that's what like the
I
tryptamine
think
is
it's the
kind of
mind.
like playing with
Yeah, I
the
think
mind.
it's the
Yeah.
mind, but it's very observable phenomena, and maybe there are other substances, but it's very easily observable with DMT. So if
Hmm.
you have like at higher doses and you watch a wall with paintings, you will see that the painting will switch, but
Right.
everything will kind of seem
What
normal.
if you like? What if you looked at a wall and then there was like not a painting, but let's say like just an object? It would be
Yeah,
similar.
yeah,
Like you,
yeah,
the object would focus.
yeah. So you can experiment with, and if you have a laser.
Huh.
Imagine this aspect. You have a laser that all your attention goes to observing this laser,
Yeah.
and then there is this thing. Well, on DMT, it's more specific, but well, you are more prone to notice patterns. You are more
Mm.
prone to find a
Pattern
pattern in that
recognition.
noise. You
Yeah.
are more prone to see this magic eye effect that you experience when you are watching, well, speckle noise patterns. And
Right.
it happens on many psychedelics, but DMT, just because it's this context-based thing, all your attention goes very quickly on the laser. So you first thing you see, at least I did, and everybody I talk who's a rational scientist saw, observed exactly the same thing. Some people go very deeply into fighting these ideas. I don't. I'm just like a random druggie. I just, what I see I report, right? So no idea. I don't know about simulation. So anyway, level up these alien patterns, right? Please tell me if you don't see these alien patterns on fucking everything that catches your attention on DMT. Like, come
Mm.
on,
Right.
come on. So
Right.
all your attention goes on this laser because on psychedelics, when you pay attention to things, these things evolve. You have this speckle pattern and you have this aspect of DMT. Also, by the way, DMT is not specific. For ACO, DMT, other tryptamines for HOMET, even well, psilocybin can have it, but psilocybin is not that context dependent, and there are a
Yeah.
bunch of other substances. And again, maybe we live in a simulation, maybe it is proof, but this effect is very repeatable. These symbols, well, sorry
I
if
don't get.
I'm
I don't
seeing
get why
this.
it would be proof of like simulation. It could just be a proof of
Yeah,
like that. Math
maybe
is
because to get
behind the
attention
veil. I
from
mean, it
people.
doesn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
I don't
whatever.
know.
Yeah.
This idea, right? It's currently idea. It caught people's attention. It's not something I'm battling against. I'm happy to make more stuff. What I see, if I see these symbols, sorry, I see them on a lot of hallucinogens. Maybe it's a proof. Maybe it's not. But well, your mind is looking. Your pattern recognition gets greatly increased. You're looking at the noise. Your mind will find things like language, because faces, language, things that we are wired to recognize in the noise, right?
Mhm.
If you try
Mhm.
to have a noisy image and you have some text and you have some random other image, and let's say you're watching
Right.
TV with just static noise, you have some text floating around and you have some, let's say, bagel or whatever lamp, image of a lamp, your eyes will catch on to the text first. Why? Because it's a pattern you can recognize. It's something that gives
Mm.
you information, right?
Yeah, it's similar in
So
dreams as well. Like
yeah, exactly.
things that are
Yeah,
used to being seen, or things that are like
yeah,
known, but
yeah,
text is
yeah,
not. But the thing is that in
yeah.
a dream it's weird, because it's similar in psychedelic, I guess, experience as well. But it's like um, you'll see something that is totally not normal, but in the dream world your mind will be like, oh, that's I'm used to seeing that. Like, if you look at text,
Uh,
it's never text, it's always fucked up. That's why if you look away and look back, it's always going to change, which is like a good lucid dreaming kind of like uh, s- um, like jump off point. But like a lot of things are like that. Like you'll see, somebody that's dead, and you'll be totally normal with them, or like a pink elephant or whatever, something that's like not normal, and in the dream you're like, oh, that's, you don't even think about it because that's your reality, that's your experience right now. And your brain doesn't want you to wake up, so your brain's like, no, just don't worry, like, just, it's normal. This is what we're projecting right now. Just go with it. And there could be something similar in like a psychedelic experience, especially on the come up, where your mind and your body's like, no, don't worry about it. It's normal. Like, don't freak out. Like, and then that exacerbates kind of like the, what is it? Because you're conscious. You're very conscious when you're coming up on any substance, really, and then the shift happens, and you become something higher conscious or different conscious, or somewhere else.
I'm very familiar with dreams. By the way, when I had to come up with a name, very on the spot with my artist name, part of it also would be something related to REM, by the way, because before psychedelics, I was very obsessed with altered states, and lucid dreaming is something I can just do. Like, I learned different techniques.
Lucky.
And I remember you talking in one of the podcasts a lot about dreaming, and well, you came up with this name. I highly resonate with it because it was my main number one altered state before I could find, let's say, outside stuff that grows, and so it was my main way of exploring my mind for a lot of years, and like all these symbologies, like also like translating dreams, I've learned that all my dreams are meaningful and are reflecting to something, same as DMT, that I'm thinking about all the time. If I'm worried about, let's say, an exam, I will see these symbols that remind me of, like, let's say, threat, danger, everything related to that aspect of my life, if I'm not lucid in the dreams. And so yeah, this if we get proven that we are in simulation, good, what do we do with this information? That's what I ask people. But also in last podcast, right, if you come we thought, if you come up with this great idea that we are all one, show me how you're using it in your life. If you suddenly become better to other people because you realize we are all one.
Dude, it's such a good point. And it's like, that can actually solve so many like identity politics or like issues today with like, woke ideas, or the other side of like hating everybody, like they're both just these extremes. You can have these concepts. How do you use them in a good way? I mean, obviously, like, wokeism is easy, right? Like, be empathetic to the person in front of you, on both sides, the bad person and the good person. Always look at the thing. Same thing for, maybe, I mean, this is like a very big stretch. I don't know. I'm not fully thought about this, but like, maybe on the other side of like, people that just hate people for no reason. How are you using that in a good way? It's very, that should easily switch on your thing of like, what is the use of this, right? Like, okay, I'm trying to keep my, it's easy, right. Well, when you frame it like that, it becomes easier. But the framing is usually like, how is this better for myself, right? How do I keep people out of my thing? I don't know, a little bit of a just jostled thought there. But either way, I think what you said is really smart. Like, just, if you have a concept, or if you have an idea or a theory, try and focus on why it's better for people, why it's better for everybody, why it's better for all of us. I mean, if that was the like status quo, or like the modus operandum, the MO of people, we'd have a much better system. We'd have a much better society. Anyway.
Yeah. First, a good point you did, mentioning hate. What I've learned is, in a lot of times when you don't know why you are hating someone, it's very, very, very useful to look at exactly what is the trait that you are hating this person for no reason. If it's not like something that is generally considered bad, right? For example, being manipulative or whatever.
Right. Or
in most cases,
physical.
I realized that I don't like this person for this weird reason, because they are doing something that I'm not aware that I'm doing. And then when
reflection, projection,
yeah, and it's so interesting that like, it's workplaces, like, everybody hates this one, let's say, more orderly person, or who's attaching at like some negative, like, looking at why this person, I hate them for no reason. What is that exact reason? and trying to force yourself to see if you are doing the thing. It's
Mm.
very practical. It's hard as fuck, but it's very useful because I think Jordan
Hard as
Peterson
fuck.
said paying attention to your enemies is very, very useful, especially if you listen to them. Well, enemies,
Mm.
nemesis, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
because they will tell you something about you. But naturally, it just happens. They do. If somebody, let's say, hates you, they will, if you listen to them, tell something about you that you are blind to, and none of your, let's say, friends and good people in your reality will ever be able to tell you. And if you listen to it, these things, if you internalize, it's not like taking full blame, but actually trying to listen to what this person is, let's say, hating you for, you
Mm-hmm.
can learn some bits of information that become probably some of the biggest steps in your personal progress. And it's really hard. It's the complete opposite of what you want to do when you are in, let's say, nemesis, whatever state the
Or
person.
yeah, like fight or flight, right? If you're in fight or flight, the last thing you want to do is or freeze, I guess, is think about what you're doing wrong or what how you're experiencing. Also, we don't get taught that as kids. Very none of our very rarely does a parent express like this kind of almost like critical self-thinking, and by the way, as a parent, it's very difficult because you never want to criticize your child. You want your child to be confident and feel good, never do anything wrong. But there's like it's a really important like lesson to impart on people, is that self-reflection, right? Or even like a deeper, like just learning, not even self-reflecting per se, but learning that that's a useful thing to do, right? Like if I'm having this a lot with my kid, like big emotions, right? It's like a very normal thing that little kids go through. They have all these big emotions and they don't know how to do anything with them, so it just results in hitting or screaming or whatever. And the big thing is like that I'm trying to do is like you don't tell the person to stop, right? Like obviously my first reaction 9 times out of 10 is like, oh, stop crying, don't cry, right? Which is like for me, but also for the child. But really what you want to try and do is, and what I try to do is like, oh, I see you're having these really big feelings. I see that what you're feeling is really hard for you. Kind of like put them in the state of what they're feeling. If they're feeling angry or sad, like be sad with them, be angry with them. Okay, obviously you can't hit me, but if you need to be angry, go hit this thing or scream, whatever. Like, but you're wiring the brain to be like, oh, I have a big emotion. I can respond emotionally, but why am I responding emotionally? What is the thing that I'm responding to? You don't have that inherently, right? And a lot of us, even myself, struggle with that till your adulthood of like, I'm angry, all I see is red, I'm gonna do I'm gonna punch the wall, I'm gonna scream, I'm gonna yell. And really all you need to do is, oh, I'm angry, I see red, why am I angry right now? Oh, I'm sad. Oh, I'm upset. Oh, I'm disappointed. And then you shift that thing into something else, right? And because you got to emotionally express yourself. But if your emotional expression is just angry, sad, cry, you don't actually have the opportunity to A, not hurt the people around you or hurt yourself, and B, learn from it, right? That self-reflection. So yeah, I mean, it's it's really tough as a parent because when your kid's just screaming and hitting you, you're just like, shut the fuck up, like. but really, you want to be like, please shut the fuck up, and also, next time, like. Oh man. But yeah, I mean, I think it's like a very normal thing for us humans as adults to like not be able to transmute our feelings in a healthy way, and also have that ability to reflect in the moment, so in the moment you have that ability. It's so difficult, yeah, especially like I'm an emotional person. I have a lot of emotions, and that's a good thing. And like but when those emotions harm me or harm others, then they're not fulfilling the purpose, right? The emotion is supposed to be there as like a trigger or a reminder for me to do something or to act some way or to think about something or even to self-reflect. So yeah, gotta not control our emotions, but be like above them, or maybe even see them for what they are, and transmute them into a positive thing. No, it's possible. It's possible. We could do it. We
Takes
can do
forever
it.
to understand this process. I'm hyper emotional. I'm learning this. I do wanted a shout out. It's sorry for the
Please.
tangenting.
No. Please.
So this hostel editor thing. I do want to shout out because the thing we made with the QRI, highly encourage people
Let me bring it up
to
here.
check it out. It is one of, let's say, I prototyped it, and then I was lucky enough to be around people who are great at expanding and making things useful. So I also added, I think, the full link to it. It makes no sense if you. It's very hard for a person to understand it. But long story short, it's you can generate your applications, and hopefully, if you manage to create something that resembles a certain trip, please save it. There are presets, and you can save and say, for example, this looks like 2CB because this is a wonderful tool, and I'm happy to see it expand, and I'm happy to see it real and huge. Thanks to people in QRI for letting me see the things grow. I made like a basic version. It's because I had Android app that does this replication thing through camera in real time, but it got expanded so far with people who actually know how to code. People there are some math ideas based on math that might be base for how certain altered states work, and by people creating the replications by playing around with this tool. You're gonna see animations. There's a lot of stuff. It's very, very. It seems complex, but please, if you manage with this tool to create something, save it as.
Where can we pick it up? Is it an app?
Yeah. Huh?
It's an app we can pick up on a.
Yeah. I'm gonna send you a link. I already sent a link. Yeah, this is it. So basically, it seems very complex. You can currently it's paused, but you can press play. There are basic tools that regulate, let's say, waviness, which is based again what I showed you on like light, dark spots, and then there's a lot of math involved. And I'm not
cool.
well versed in math, but we have Harvard mathematicians who are into psychedelics, who have also devoted their lives to understand these states, who have created wonderful, huge shout out to Andres Gomez Emilson for creating QRI and everybody involved in this project. Oh, you already are making something, so you can you can do a lot of things that resemble a lot of psychedelics. Of course, it may be tedious. Yeah, dude, it's very good. People please, if you play with this tool, please, if you see something that really feels like a certain state, please save it and provide.
Yeah, because you guys can like reverse engineer those numbers, right?
Yeah. This is one of the main things. I didn't talk a lot about the research part. I'm sorry, because I was very stressed at the beginning, so this is one of the big baby projects, and again, huge thanks to QRI to making this real, starting from just a thing with 4 sliders that I made, and now seeing this expand beyond repair. So this wonderful tool, if you are providing data, it's we are trying to build models of different states, and it's not only psychedelics, it's pain. It's there are interesting phenomena that have been noticed that helps people reduce pain. Different states of pain by just watching different patterns, because they resemble the feeling of your body. There's another thing that is a big project.
Brain candy.
Sorry.
Brain candy.
Brain candy is another project that is I participated, contributed it, but it's not mine. It's made by David Lobzer and
no, I know, but that's another one that I also helped with on that one.
Oh,
We did a
nice.
whole
Okay, so you know what brain
a
candy
dome
is, like
thing
this
there.
strobing thing. And by the way, if you buy DLC that's called Symmetric Vision, you are really supporting my work, because there's a DLC part in brain candy that uses a bunch of my art that I created for it, with these strobing patterns. Very fun while tripping. You know, you can buy these strobing light setups for $30,000
Yeah,
that are just bunch of strobes. So
this does
these
it the same
people
thing
who
but
created
better.
this in VR for a couple of euros, guys, you can do a lot with this. It's very fun. It's
In Germany last year, we did some experiments with it where we would just have people coming in, while they're tripping, and it was
yeah,
very successful.
yeah.
People were like super excited by it.
There's another thing that I was too anxious to still end to explain, that was a project also with QRI, which also uses similar math. So I was creating a simulation of human body nervous system that can be run with
Oh
the similar
yeah,
math here
I
to
remember that.
simulate different states. So, for example, you have a transparent human body, and then you have different waves of colors, but there's a certain math there, and that math is very trippy, because if you figure
Hmm.
out different parameters, you get real flashbacks to like some painful situations. You get flashbacks
Wow.
to anxiety situations. You get flashbacks to certain states, because those waves really closely
Physical.
remind you a
Yeah.
certain feeling that people know. And the idea is to get it back engineered to actually treat conditions, because if you can induce
Dude.
flashbacks,
Right.
yeah,
Then you
it's
could treat
crazy.
them. You could treat them. That's like the whole.
Yeah,
That's the whole concept of like the psychedelic therapy. Is like if you put somebody
not even
in.
psychedelic.
No, but I'm saying it's the same. It's a similar concept to that type of therapy. Is when you put somebody in this state of remembering, but they feel safe, or they feel loved, or they feel connected, or their ego is dissolved, or whatever. It's easier to deal with that trauma, right? Because it's like you're opening it up. But I just thought of something now when you said that was smells, right? Or like the strongest memory. Like smell is like connected to the strongest memory. Would be so cool if you could make like the same like replication of like visual. If you could make like a replication of smell, even if it's like a fair, like, because there must be some sort of like, maybe it's the smell of the burning, or maybe it's the smell of like whatever. It could even be that like the smell is not like physical external, but your brain is like,
Yeah,
okay, let's save this code of a smell right now as the thing. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I
It could be
hope.
interesting to
Yeah,
like you make like a little
I
smell
really
machine.
wish that QRI people will watch this later, because there are also people who are very well versed in smell, very advanced.
Really?
I've met some very
So
experts in
cool. Smell
PhD
experts.
experts who've devoted their life to the sense of smell, and
Mm.
learned in very short amount of time. I learned such interesting things about our sense of smell that gave me new senses instantly that I can't forget now. For example, very simple concept. Each of your nostril has different speed. So because of that, different speed of taking in molecules, right? You can think
Huh?
about nose as a airborne molecule
Right.
detection
Like a
system.
reader. Yeah,
So
yeah, 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 yeah.
just because there's different speeds of how your nose takes in air molecules, you can have a 3D sense of where smell is coming from
Oh,
just
like a
by thinking
stereo.
about it.
Wow, wow,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah, yeah.
wow, wow.
And we don't get this thought, right? It's like when you just think about this for the first time in your life, it immediately unlocks new sense, and you can't forget it. It's ridiculous. So now
Crazy.
you can not only smell
The
who farted
direction or
or that somebody farted, but you can tell who farted because the way the fart travels.
That's so
Yeah, crazy. It's crazy. So
or
now
you
when I'm
smell where the
talking
joint's
about
coming from, you're just like outside, it's like,
yeah,
it
yeah,
smells like
I
a joint.
immediately
I think
have
it's
the keyword.
coming.
Who did it?
I love that. That's so
It's
funny, dude.
ridiculous. It's dude. It's just by thinking, and my whole life is about trying to unlock these different mechanisms in the brain. I try to figure out. That's why psychedelics, psychology,
Mm,
there are cool things you can do this with computer in your head, right? And
mm,
this one blew my mind that you can just think about this concept that you never thought about, and suddenly there's new sense. And you can't. That's
mm.
it. Once you think about it, it's got forever. You're not gonna be able to not have it. And I believe there's a lot of things that we don't know about our body. So the stuff, very excited, very happy that QRI people got in touch with me and invited me to participate in this,
Yeah. Oh
because
yeah.
I finally have a place where I can put my brain to actual work with the most meaningful work I can do. So that is ridiculously rewarding, and I am very, 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 very thankful for that, and I'm very excited to see where it goes. People there who I met, ridiculous, just beyond my wildest dreams. So smart wizards everywhere, well versed in their own subjects. Neuroscientists, also passionate about science. I just am so grateful that there is some place where I can place my brain and actually learn something new, and being just in a crowd that sounds like being in my favorite podcast for weeks, just listening about new ways of using the brain
It sounds
from
so
people
cool.
who,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Who
yeah, it's
do who
and
research it? Who like work in it?
yeah, 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 yeah. And
It's
it's not,
awesome.
maybe not not everything is like based on paper, like academic, because also there are
No,
people from
but those
academia.
people are but those people are smart enough to like if they're talking shit
Yeah.
or they're talking about stuff, it's like okay, some of it's got to be
We're
like
talking
based in
Yeah, we're talking shit and experimenting, right? But
right
we're also well in touch with people who are doing this
the
hardcore
actual
studies,
yeah 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 yeah
with the
yeah.
extended DMT studies. Like just now, I spent 2 weeks in Mexico, and like couple of days, I got in touch with a person who is doing this in UK. Shout out to James, and just being around people who also are in academia, and they can kind of apply this knowledge through the academic lens and just say,
So
oh, you
cool.
can't do this way, you can't do this way. So the connections, again, we are connected. Like the amount of connections with the people that I thought were like famous in my mind because I read about
Right.
psychedelics, and now I'm just hanging with them for weeks, and just
It's
like one example is, I really
yeah.
want to tell. So last year there was this conference in Greece, and then
Mm-hmm.
QRI and people related made a satellite retreat
Shit.
where they had like 40 people who went to these conferences from all over the planet. And there, I'm very sorry, I'm bad with names. I really want to shout out the guy. I think it's sorry for the names, but there's a guy from Japan who created this deep dream VR study in 2015, and this study made me suicidal for real, because I was started making replications, and then I see that somebody creates this, oh, the deep dream equals psychedelics in VR, and it's like
Wow.
early stages of deep dream. It's very, very
Right.
basic, but
Rudimentary. Yeah.
it got into science, right? It
Mm.
got he went through the route of doing it in the tedious scientific way. So there's like this proof. I personally don't agree with this, but I really, really hated that. I knew that people are gonna attach themselves because of cognitive bias that deep dream equals psychedelics, and I saw it happen because, well, I'm in the replication community. So technically, this guy made me, let's say, suicidal, but also he contributed to the fastest growth in my work after I got through that, let's say, suicidal age, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got to
Yeah.
meet this person in person and introduced him. Like, of course, I'm thankful
Wow.
for him doing this, but like, I'm meeting this person from other side of the planet who has the
Wow.
same interests, who's done something I might not agree
Who
with.
affected you
But
so
yeah, yeah,
strongly?
yeah. And I got to, like, the way I introduced, like, you know how I introduced myself to you. I'm gonna shit my pants. So the way I
Yeah.
introduced myself to this guy is like, hey, you made me almost kill myself with your study. And it's like,
Yeah.
of course, it shocks people, right? Because, but I'm honest. And then the next sentence is like, also, you saved my life. Like,
Mm,
you contributed to the fastest growth in my work because I didn't agree with it so much. I'm still
amazing.
thankful for you doing this, but there are many studies. There is this like study that came out of Estonia recently while I was working on schizophrenia disease, that these psychedelic replications allegedly cure depression. I didn't agree
Wow.
with it at all. I do agree with the aspect that replications can help, but the replications they used were just images of fractals, and of course every fractal is a fucking replication to psychedelics, right? Like,
Right.
that's why people did animation. So I did not agree with it. I agree with it like 1%. But still, because of this study, because I'm so upset about this, is that people go into science and just have this one tiny aspect of psychedelic experience, and then they say that, this is the psychedelics. It drives me mad, but also it drives my progress. Like just now, I showed you how to do replications in like 5 minutes, but I already covered like 4 different aspects in it. Like psychedelics are not just one deep dream. Psychedelics are not just one waviness. Even though when we see these replications for the first time and we hadn't seen them before, our cognitive bias kicks in, and
Right.
because we see something that actually resembles it, we think this is the entire thing because we're like, oh wow, this thing is exactly like I was tripping. Of course, there were 100 other things, and rarely there are rare people who actually address these other things too, because it's a complex experience. So I had a chance to meet these people, and I'm very grateful to. I'm spamming QRI, but again, somehow on our reality, the universe or whatever gave space to us drug and perception nerds to actually legally, because we to do these legal studies, right?
Yeah.
To do
Yeah.
ayahuasca legally and then do studies, we have to go through papers. It's not
Of
easy.
course.
Somebody
Of
did it, and somebody made it possible that we can go to Mexico where some things are legal, like 5-MeO, right? We can go
Right.
to Brazil where ayahuasca is legal. So of course there's a lot of NDAs, there's a lot of papers we need to sign, and a lot of responsibilities we need to take, but it is possible. There are these people who are doing it, and I'm very glad that I could be a part of it on the paper, right? I can
Yeah,
now,
it's awesome.
before I couldn't say people, hey, I've legally done drugs, like to do these studies. It's a very, very huge rock off my heart that I can't do this now because like my brain needs to do this. My brain needs to sacrifice its life, having a chances of having a lot of money, working with robots to just do this. And now it's possible. It wasn't possible 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was having people attacking me, literally attacking me for doing education for only reason that I tried to help. And now it's shifted to such a degree that there's a chance, and it's growing, it's getting better because in US psychedelic revolution, right?
Yeah,
Psychedelics are
yeah,
becoming
yeah.
legal.
Iboga.
It's
Thanks, Joe Rogan.
yeah. Like you live in California, if I'm not mistaken, you can like buy stuff in the store legally, right? You can,
Weed, yeah, but not like other
but not like
things.
DMT vapes or something like that, right?
No,
You can't.
definitely not. No, no. Even
Okay.
mushrooms are
Okay.
regulated still. But
Yeah. Okay.
it's less about that. It's more about like that you can do research in California. You can do a lot of research with psychedelics in California that you can't do in other states. That's what's
Also in Europe, it's starting. I'm so grateful that it's possible to start doing these things, and I'm getting in touch with people. And
yeah.
this last 2 years since we last talked, have been probably the toughest years of my life. But also on the bright side, so many things have changed in terms of the psychedelic, the idea that, like for example, I live in number one alcoholic country on the planet. We
Right.
finally had conferences about psychedelics being able to help. We had
Help.
like, I
Yeah.
think we had Dennis
Amazing.
McKenna also speak there. Like it was through online, but there are these talks. It was impossible. Of course, Latvian scientists were like, no, this is impossible. We in school were not taught that if you do drugs, they're going to help. But on the
Right.
other part, we are number one drunks. We have a huge problem. Now it's getting better because we are getting aware of it. But sorry, I don't know any other way currently how to treat this besides psychedelics. I've seen it happen hundreds of times. This happened to me. I stopped using alcohol and stopped doing so many destructive patterns because of psychedelics. It saved my
Yeah.
life. I've seen
Amen.
hundreds of people, and it's happening. So I'm gonna be just grateful, dude. I'm excited and grateful.
Yeah, excited and grateful is a good place to go from. Yeah, I mean, is there anything else you want to share with us or talk about? I mean, you kind of, we spoke about most of the
I
stuff we
went
wanted to
over
talk about.
broadly.
What's up?
I went broadly over most stuff. Well, yeah, I went like psychedelic cryptography. If you wanna, like, so psychedelic
Oh,
cryptography is a
yeah.
big thing.
Yeah, and the mainstream
Yeah,
stuff
so
also that you had that mainstream
yeah,
experience, right?
so there's this TV show
Let's
very
find that.
popular in the UK, probably the most popular for some time, that showcased my work in psychedelic cryptography, which was I can't say it's my work. Thanks to Andres, it was possible. Andres, well, who created QRA, because he made an article with an idea how to encode information while tripping, but nobody ever did it. So they ran a contest. QRI ran a contest just when we talked last time about, like, let's say, people try to figure out how to encode information, so people only on psychedelics could see it. And in the experiments in Shankara, by the way, I've done this in Modem.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So this thing, yeah, as you can see, this is a TV show Q, I think Q, and quite interesting or something. I'm not watching TV, and they featured my work. Well, they do it in mainstream way, like, oh my God, this is made to encode information science, but it exploded. Vice did an article on this. It went into a lot of media channels. I haven't done much ever since. I've had some offers that never went anywhere. People wanted to do this for festivals, but by the way, yeah, I know how to do this. It worked. I tried this experiment. I participated in contest, and I won first 2 places. And they figured out this in one night, and I'm surprised that it worked. But yeah, anyway, if you want to, I don't know, collaborate, I highly also suggest like checking out QRI work, because they're only, like, we're the only people doing this. Like currently, there are now working examples besides these ones that actually you can test. There are links. There's just a right psychedelic cryptography. There's going to be links to my YouTube. There's going to be links to QRI YouTube. There's going to be links to Vice articles. There's going to be links. Please, if play with this and tell me as you know, because I did not expect it would work. There was an idea I tried while tripping, like 20 minutes or so. I created it and it worked, and to my surprise it worked. And because I can't test it, come on, I made it, I can't test it, I know the message,
Right, you know that it's there, yeah. But I remember in Modem you did it, and people did see something, right? There was something there.
Yeah. So in Modem and Shankara, because I need to encode the short messages because people are tripping, right? So what I did in Shankara, there I can also link the exact Shankara video, because it's encoded. Yeah, this is something I really, and thank you for reminding me. This is something actually that needs to go to attention. So I'm gonna send you this video. So in Shankara and in Modem, of course, I asked people what do they see, and the biggest feedback was that people were not sure if they saw it, because they're tripping, right? They don't know what if. I just sent you the video from Shankara.
Got it.
Out. It has encoded. This is what happened in Shankara, and also you can maybe see it. So the messages in Modem and Shankara were, if you can read this, show me a light. So why would people film this, right? Why would people film this? But in Modem, I don't know if they saw it, but about 40 to 60% of people raised their phones. While there was these ugly visuals, why would anyone film this, right? And this is the decoded message in Shankara. And when I was talking to people, I also told you about this. I told Tass, I told the VJs about it. Please watch it if you can see it. But well, we were working, and those people probably don't trip. We are like working, we never do this thing, right? But the most feedback was that people I got, because I was walking around and said, hey, did you see any text appear? Did you see any text? People said that they kind of felt like there's text, but because the text is kind of, well, we love you aliens, right? It makes sense. And if you're tripping and you see some alien faces that say we love you or whatever, kind of you think that it's for your mind is imagining it. But every going now, I'm doing these experiments, by the way. So please, people, in my sets, if you see text appear, I would never do text like on my visuals, but if you do see, please come up to me and please do report. Please, whatever, show your phone. I will not throw you out of the VJ booth or whatever. We can talk, but please do tell me, because I'm different techniques. I'm learning how to do this with sound.
Are you tweaking? You're tweaking it each one. You're like each time you're tweaking it a little bit to see how you can get results.
No, new approaches.
New approaches each time.
I haven't. Yeah.
Dude, I'm sorry. I love this. There's this like little effect here. It's so powerful. This one where it like the center is like moving just ever so slightly, and it creates such a nice little wobble.
Which center? You mean the eyes, or you mean
like
the center?
No, the triangles. The triangles around like the Merkaba itself. It's just like these little small shakes are just like super nice.
Okay. I think it's a loop. By the way, there's one loop by Bear from Void there in the center,
Oh,
I think,
nice.
but I don't really remember because my attention
Yeah,
went.
it's just like it's like going inwards, outwards, but like the actual map is like moving a little bit, and it looks cool.
Okay. No, that's me. the what how it
Like
moves,
right there.
and that's on me. But like the
Anyway,
loop,
sorry.
shout out Bear from
Yeah,
Void.
the cryptography is super cool, especially when it's like, you know, being purposefully used for sending messages, or for like, you know, seeing what people see on certain substances.
It can go deep. With dissociatives, it's different approach. With psychedelics, it's different because some psychedelics have more tracer effects. Some psychedelics may have perception on different colors. So now I'm experimenting. I haven't published it. That are not related to the work of QRI and Andres, because there are different ways to think about it. You can use tracing image. This is the simplest, but you can also use color perception. For example, on some psychedelics, you can see blue really well. So if you have like random patches, random stuff, but let's say blue parts of information are encoded and are
You'll
kind of
see
making
it.
sense with, let's say, a
Right,
message,
you'll
because
see it
people
more.
see text.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Blue specifically is a strong color on psychedelics,
not on all
or
psychedelics. Again, it's substance specific. So there's
substance
this one
specific.
substance that is, of course, it's not legal anymore, called MXP, and that was it increased sense. Everything was kind of grayish, but you could sense very well perceived blue colors. For example, if you had a frisbee and you would throw a frisbee
you'd
on
see
any
it
other
perfectly.
dissociative, you wouldn't be able to catch it because it's kind of like blend out. But on this particular one, you would just automatically catch it because it has like blue aspects of it. So your brain is very well able to pick up this color. So different sounds, different. Oh boy, this can go so deep, and I have some examples, but I don't want to show them because I'm not entirely sure they work. And I haven't tested them because, again, I need to test them on other people who are tripping.
Right.
It requires me to be in a legal country because, well, in Latvia, this is not allowed. And
Yeah.
It takes a lot of hassle, and I would be very happy to have a free space where to do this with people and do these tests, because it is a rabbit hole, dude. It's sounds. I'm also creating sounds now. I'm able to produce anything I can imagine, and therefore I can try to encode things in music, not music, but like sounds, and I'm doing it. If you hear certain types in any of my work, I also, in replications, I hide things. There are a lot of Easter eggs. Like I had one with like 20 Trump faces in it, and then somebody would see it. I had encoded QR codes by parts, and then people would decode, redraw them, and I do a lot of this shit.
That's awesome.
It's hidden, but I'm telling you, people, if you see shit in my work,
you know, whenever I do corporate stuff, I'm always like, how do I like sabotage the corporate whatever thing that I'm doing without like getting fired? Maybe I shouldn't say this like in a live setting, but I've never done it. Just thoughts.
Of course.
You know, but like maybe like hiding a cryptography message inside of some CEO's presentation could be cool, you know.
Baby more.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, this guy's on the Epstein list, you know, you just like decode it in the thing.
I can give you one before we end. I can give you one message. If you ever see a message in any of my works weirdly appeared called, if you want to see aliens, send BTC Bitcoin, and I have it is in a lot of my replications. You would never see it, by the way. It is there.
Unless you're tripping balls.
If you want to meet aliens, send Bitcoin to this address. Of course, nobody has sent me Bitcoin ever, but people have noticed it. One person found it in a piece where there's just like some trees, and what the fuck? I don't know how they found, but in general, there have been like 2, 3, 4, or 5 people in my reality who have found, and I have had hundreds of pieces where this is like I've done like more than 1,000 pieces by now, and so there are. If you see, please report. This is all research to me. I do a lot of shit, this weird shit in my work. So yeah, thank you for this. Really, like.
Of course, dude. Thank you for coming on. Of course, I love talking to you. I wish we could talk longer, but I want to keep these live streams to a little bit shorter. But you know, I'll have to just have you on a normal episode at some point soon, so we can just shoot the shit and just chat. Yeah, dude, I love you so much. I'm so happy you came on. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's always great to see people come in and be part of the situation, be part of the conversation. We really, you know, yeah. I mean, again, can't thank everybody enough for the support. You know, please tune in for the normal episodes. Please hit me up with any questions on Instagram. I'm always happy to answer questions. I know Symmetric Vision Raymond's is also the same way, so definitely hit him up on Instagram. And you know, thank you so much for showing up, and we'll see you next time.
See you.
Thank you so much, Raymond.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.